Hello, welcome to the Snap UK.
Woo!
Yeah, it's
Trying to pretend there's more people than just us
exactly
here.
yeah,
Atmosphere.
yeah. It's just me and Gilo today, so
Intimate.
It's
Intimate show. Takes us back to the glory days.
exactly. So yeah, I think Jim's busy. Paul's in London. Griff is just been a dirty dog somewhere. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, we're still yet to have a whole 5 people on a show for probably since Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mock draft. I think it is getting a little bit difficult, isn't it, at times?
It is.
As we get more important at work, we have to just,
We're very important men.
Very important. And Griff.
Yes. No, like I think I am the least important person. I'm just a
no, you're not, John. You're the only one with the equipment to make the podcast.
Exactly. Yeah. I was thinking the other day, I feel like I am the only one that's been on every show, but then I was like, I am the person who has the
equipment.
soundboard. So yeah, if I don't turn up, there isn't a podcast. But yeah, we're here. We probably won't be a very long one tonight compared to other weeks, but we'll start with the all-important classified polls results because you weren't here last week, but we read out the results at the start.
Yep.
Then that's all we have to. We don't have to worry
nice.
about
I like that.
So,
obviously, I've listened, so I know that.
So, Vikings 28, Eagles 34, Packers 24, Falcons 25.
Ooh.
Raiders 10, Bills 38.
Did you have sound effects last time or not?
We didn't.
No.
Well, Paul just read
it. You could have gone bush with that one.
Exactly. Ravens 27, Bengals 24, Seahawks 37, Lions 31.
Sneaky good.
Colts 31, Texans 20. Chiefs 17, Jaguars 9. Bears 17, Buccaneers 27.
Go on, Baker.
Chargers 24, Tetons 27. Giants 31, Cardinals 28.
That is someone tanking.
Niners 30, Rams 23. Jets 10, Cowboys 30. Commandeers 35, Broncos 33. Dolphins 24, Patriots 17. Saints 20, Panthers 17. And Browns 22, 26 Steelers.
26 Steelers, fucking twats.
Yeah. So that's the results done. So we're going to discuss the news. First thing is, I think for us the biggest news: Nick Chubb is out for the season.
Yep.
If you were to do a power ranking of running backs,
top three,
like
I think
you could argue
the best,
like pure running back.
Yep.
Basically, it's like him or McCaffrey right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like they're in their
Derek's
prime.
not quite as good as he was. He doesn't seem to be having the same impact. I'm not sure they're grinding teams down enough for him. But
yeah, I think like the line doesn't work. He's getting older. It's just but Chubb, great player.
Well, he had not last year, the year before. He had half a year out, didn't he?
Yeah.
And after that, he's just come back and been brilliant the whole time. And he's been getting kind of 1,500-1,600 yards a season. And just looking like a machine, and you know what you're going to get, don't you? So there was a really nasty injury. Same knee injured in college.
Yeah. His first year he
dislocated and ACL he did in college, didn't he?
Yeah. And I remember his first season there were question marks about him, and because he came in with injury history, and he just obliterated those fears because he was brilliant in a quite frankly shonky team. He hasn't been the same since Watson came in as quarterback.
Yeah,
obviously Watson, I think, wants to do his own thing, and
they'll be looking for a lot of read options now, won't they? Now he's there. So,
but it's a huge loss for the Browns, 100 million fantasy teams.
It's a huge loss for the running back community in the league.
Yeah.
Because this is the reason why they don't get paid. You know,
Yeah.
even Stefanski, is that right? Or Sirianni, which one is that? Can I remember?
Stefanski.
Yeah. Even Stefanski said, look, we love Chubb, but, you know, we need to plan on next man up now.
Yeah.
Season's done. You know, we'll give him all the support he needs, but that's it. We're on to the next one. And that is literally what running backs are. You get elite ones, and they support them as much as they can, but they're just waiting for him to get injured. They are just a commodity.
They are.
And that's why they don't get paid.
They are. I mean, if you look around, this weekend, it wasn't just Chubb. Like, Barkley's out injured. Yep. Eckler is injured.
Yep.
Like, Aaron Jones missed this week with a hamstring injury. Etienne looks like he's struggling with something. He looks jaded already. Like, it's a tough position, but there's someone else. So the
shows you how good Frank Gore was.
Yes, exactly.
In terms of durability, you can say whatever you like, but he was there every week, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, he goes into the Hall of Durable. So the Browns have acted quickly, and they've brought in Kareem Hunt to add I was about to say a 1-2 punch with Watson.
Oi! You've been thinking about that all day, haven't you?
I've been trying not to say it, but then I went to bloody say it. Basically, quite a dislikable running back pairing. But Kareem Hunt, last year he was
a good
rubbish.
move. It's a good move for the organisation.
He knows the team. He knows the playbook.
He was only rubbish last year because Chubb was so good. That's the only reason. The year before, when Chubb missed a load of time, Hunt was really good. So, you know, he is a decent running back. Just opportunities. So, you know, obviously saying he's still going to be number 2 on the depth chart for now, but. You know, who's the rookie? I can't remember. I did tell you earlier, John. Ford.
Yeah. So he actually scored a fantastic touchdown this weekend, like an 80-yarder. But it is hard. But as well, the thing is, so the Browns lost the Steelers. So both of those teams on 1-on-1. Both those teams, it'll be interesting next week because both those teams' offenses look particularly stuttering. Like, you know, there's very few teams that the offenses just looked lively from the get-go. Like, you're looking at the 49ers. Basically just the 49ers.
I think, look, the Steelers are in massive transition mode, backed up by a really good defense.
Yeah.
So, you know, what you're going to see with that is that the offense is not going to deliver every week. The defense is going to need to keep them in games, and Mike Tomlin and the defense will get them close to the playoffs because it's just such a topsy-turvy division. There's not a huge... the Bengals and the Ravens are the best 2 teams in the division. I think we all agree that. But the gap between them is not that big. And I'd say, you know, look, last year, you know, the Bengals went 0-2, still made the playoffs. It doesn't happen every year. It's not really the ideal way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Burrow hurt his calf this weekend, was holding his calf, had his little massage machine on it on the sideline as well. So I think there's definitely bits there as well in terms of that division's going to be tight. So for both those teams, it's can they stay close enough to be in with a shout at the end of the season?
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, can he pick it? Yes, he can.
Yes, he can.
But can he?
Well, Alex Highsmith can pick it because first play of the game, he picks off Watson after a bit of a juggle, but literally it's the first play of the game. And, I mean...
Without a fumble recovery for a touchdown by TJ Watt at the end of this game, the Browns would be 2-0.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you'd be going, Deshaun Watson's here. And so if Chubb hadn't got injured and that fumble hadn't happened, the story would be looking very different.
It does look different.
All of a sudden, that doesn't look too pretty for the Browns, but it could have looked a lot different. A lot changed in like 45 minutes.
Yeah. And, like, as well, like both these teams have superb defenses. They're going to keep them in games at the very least.
Yeah.
Like TJ Watt is back. Like there's very few players better than him. In the league.
Myles Garrett would be only one of the few up there putting his hand up saying it might be me, because he is also an absolute machine. So like you say, I think they're very good defensively. They should be with the the people they've got. Both these teams. So I think lots of questions will come out of this in terms of who bounces back best. I'm not sure what their schedules are like, to be fair. But that division's going to be really tight. That's going to be really tight.
I know that the Browns now go to the Titans this weekend, and the Steelers face the Raiders. They're fine.
Yep.
But it's going forward. We'll see. But
and Deshaun Watson, this year, if I'm honest, expecting a bit more out of him. He's
we should be not. The rust should be going by now. He should be getting used to the scheme.
How many games did he play at the end of last season? 3 or 4?
Was it 11 game ban?
Yeah, but then he wasn't. Was he back straight away?
I think he was.
So he's been what? He's been in like at least 6-7 games, maybe 8. But
maybe 8 games. He should.
That's half a season. So So he should be starting to, really start to get to grips with it. And he's not quite as explosive as he was.
No.
And not quite as accurate as he was.
That's it. But as well, the question's going to be, if that maintains, the question will be, is it Watson or is it Stefanski?
Oh, I think Stefanski's gone at the end of the season.
Same as.
I think they're sleepwalking into that. This Chubb injury could be a real problem.
Oh, yeah, hugely. But, for both teams, they're 1-1. We'll see what goes on. So, other news, Mahomes, he's restructured his contract, basically to bring him back into line with...
Yeah, they've converted more into the signing bonus or, the bonus payments rather than to the salary. So it gets him back to an average of kind of 50 a year.
Just 52 million.
Yeah, so it puts him in the top 5 or the top 3 again, doesn't it? So they've basically reacted to the Burrows and Lamar contracts to make sure he's still right at the top echelons of quarterback pay. And apparently they've agreed to sit down and re-look at his contract again in 2 years' time or over the next 2 years as well. So basically they're saying, look, you're going to stay here forever. We'll make sure we pay you enough money. So, which, why wouldn't you?
Well, exactly. He's still the best.
Yeah,
quite frankly. On the pitch,
tight game. I was expecting a high scoring game here, if I'm honest.
So was I, because I'm not.
It's had like 35, 32 written all over it, didn't it?
Yeah, the Jags were really big going in about sort of payback for their playoff loss, and it didn't really happen. I mean, I don't fancy either of these teams' defenses, but you saw the difference Chris Jones makes to the Chiefs. Like, he was an absolute menace, like just like the best defensive player on the pitch, and he came in straight away, looked good. The other returning from injury was Kelsey, who took time to get back at speed, but then
got a touchdown.
Got a touchdown.
So that was all the bad.
That's all. There seemed to be a point where Kelsey was unmarked in the area, and you're like, oh yeah, no, you probably shouldn't do that.
I think this was about kind of really the Jags' failure to establish a run game. So, Etienne, 12 attempts for 40 yards. It's just, they only used Ernest Johnston once, so they're obviously not keen on him, really.
No, they've got Tank Bigsby, but he didn't see much.
He's goal line, isn't he? Really, he's a big lad, goal line, really. He'd be a bit like the Juice when he's not going to be an every-time option. So I think, Etienne, not quite looking as sharp as he did last season, so... whether he's got a bit of a niggle, I'm not sure, but he needs to. Need to get him into the game. Whether it's the O-line that needs to do a bit more work, or if not, it was just Chris Jones dominated the O-line, so there wasn't many holes. So I think that puts a lot of pressure then. You know, Trevor Lawrence tried to throw the ball 41 times, you know, only completed 22 of those passes. So, you know, there was pressure coming a lot, and that's failure of the run game. That, you know, in simple, you know, they struggled to get Calvin Ridley into the game as much this week, but then Christian Kirk, who they're paying all the money to, obviously had a much better game, so over 100 yards. So I think, you know, which was good to see, especially for, you know, fantasy owners, because a lot of people will have Christian Kirk because, you know, he was the best wide receiver there last year, and, you know, I've got him in a league, and, you know, you definitely think he should be getting kind of 70 yards a game, really. So I think once they can get that worked out between those two, how they're going to use those weapons, I think that will really really help Trevor Lawrence. So, but tough game.
Yeah. Yes. Other quarterbacks news: Anthony Richardson, our rookie, the Indianapolis is a rookie quarterback. Got his third rushing touchdown. Actually, to be fair, when he's playing, he looks legitimately really good. I was watching part of Red Zone with my brother, and Paul just kept going to me, he's RG3. He's RG3. Literally, look at him. It's RG3 again. And Paul was even saying that when he saw the
sort of getting knocked out.
The replay of the where he going in for a touchdown. Body on the line, his head hits the ground. I didn't realise that he
got the touchdown.
Yeah, got the touchdown. They have like spotters and stuff. He self-nominated himself for the
HIA or whatever.
Yeah, for concussion protocol. No one else spotted it.
Right.
So, like, actually, that's a good thing because I don't want to see. I know there's, you know, you're going to draw comparisons with RG3 and
Griff will call him a pussy.
Yeah.
Because he'll just go to another Carson Wentz.
Exactly. But like, what you don't want is a Tua where they, you know, he was concussed. I think that, you know, they tried to play him, and what it did, it cost their season. The Indianapolis Colts at the moment they are not going to be.
Oh no!
Down the line, they are not going to be a. They could.
They might squeeze into the playoffs, but they're not going to be a championship team, are they?
You know, you've got this player who does look like he can make a difference.
And even Minshew Mania. You've got a bit of Minshew Mania, John. Your favourite.
I like the thing is, I quite like Minshew as a player. He's fun. Like he's a
19 out of 23 for 170 yards and a touchdown. Sounds like he's a decent backup. We talk about the dearth of backups. He must be one of the better backups in the whole league.
The thing is, I will also say
better than Brian Hoyer.
I would also say he was playing Houston, and Houston suck. They are so bad.
I bet you there'll be quarterbacks that put up worse stats than that against Houston this year.
Oh God, yeah. No, he was. Well, they got the win, and he was. But Richardson, when he was playing, you could see if he can keep healthy, like there's a star there, and let's thing. On the other side, actually, I was quite impressed with CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Like almost I know some of it's garbage time, but almost 400 yards, and
the most important stat is no interceptions.
Yes.
And Griff would say it was Robert Woods with 74 yards, but you know, Nico Collins fucking exploded for the game, didn't he?
Yeah, Tank Dell. Like, who the fuck's Tank Dell? But he got 2 touchdowns. Like, he's doing quite well with very little around him. So, so it's interesting. It's also like it was the first. So both these kids as well. They're 21.
Yep.
Like last time there was 2 rookies quarterbacks playing each other at that age is Winston and Mariota.
Wow.
Back in 2015. Like this is
that's a setup for anything.
And I have hope that
talk to me in 5 years and let me know how that went.
Exactly. So let's hold on.
Hold off our judgment too much.
But
yeah,
like, you know,
but positive signs. You know,
really positive. And like Richardson, when he's rushing, it is sort of Cam-esque. Like he's 6'4". He's not as big as him, but he's a 6'4".
Yeah. This is where the draft system, it helps clubs, but really hurts players.
Yeah.
I saw some stuff recently actually about kind of parents saying, like, if we think we don't want to go to the teams, we just must stay in college because, like, it's just going to ruin their career. How many careers have been ruined by terrible teams? The Browns, Deshaun Kaiser might have been good. Like, we just never know, will we? We'll just never know because he just got fucked, by going to the Browns. You just don't know, do you? It's so, so strange. Like, even like Jordan Love's done okay.
Yeah.
Like
you've got
if he'd have been at the Browns, he'd have been told, don't talk to me about Johnny. You're taking it too far, John.
But no,
that's got nothing to do with the Browns. That's everything to do with the fact he was a massive cokehead.
Because he's a massive dickhead. But if you could imagine, because Jerry Jones was a Manziel fan.
Yeah.
You could imagine a decent organisation, they might be able to keep him for more than 2 years.
No. He was just chaos, mate. He got his money and then he just fucking pissed it up the wall.
Yeah, but there are. Who's the guy that expected to go first this year? I can't remember his name now. Caleb Williams.
Yeah, and
he must be looking, going like, I don't want to who's
the Cardinals.
Cardinals. It's going to be the Cardinals.
Because you only beat the Cardinals because they tanked. They're looking to tank. Come on, John.
I don't know.
Well, you're a Giants fan, so you don't want to believe that. But to every fucker else, it looks like they just decided to give up.
If someone has told them to tank, they've not told James Conner and Josh Dobbs because they're playing quite well. I mean, the defense is bad.
Well, it looks better like that.
But they're.
The year Dolphins were tanking for Tua, they looked okay in some games. They still managed to lose some games.
But we have to remember, they didn't they start the season 0-6, and I think had the worst points differential of all time. That Dolphins team, they're going to have to go.
And all the fans were just going tank for Tua.
Yeah, but it is what it is. The Cardinals aren't as bad as we feared, but it is.
They are quite bad.
It's still week 2, and they have depth to go. They've already lost Budda Baker.
Their defense is pretty
poor.
Yeah,
it's poor. But yeah.
It's like you don't get a lot of video on new quarterbacks. You give it a few weeks, and defensive coordinators will be picking this guy apart.
Oh God, yeah.
They're going to get even worse, mate.
Oh. Totally.
They're going to get even worse. They're going to rely on Connors too much, and then he'll get injured, and then they'll be fucked.
Yeah, and will we see our mate Clayton Toon, who's the backup quarterback? Of course,
all Newcastle fans are hoping so.
Well, at some point, what is the point of bringing in Kyler as well if he's fit?
Well, they want to trade him anyway, don't they? They don't even want him, do they?
I think so, but yeah. Who's going to take him? So, should we go on to mention some of the 0-2 teams that aren't just tanking?
But are they the big bits we were going to go through, are they, John?
Yeah.
The main bits of news. So we think they were the main kind of bits, the key kind of bits that came out of this week. So then we thought it'd be interesting to just have a look at, See, I always think the league doesn't really settle down till about week 4.
Yeah.
Whether it be fantasy, whether it be results, teams are still forming. You've had people sit out. You've had injuries early in the season as people are getting up to speed. So it always feels like from week 4 we get to start to see how the land's going to lie. You're 25% of the way through the season almost, and you start to form a bit of a picture: who's behind, who's ahead. But even after a couple of weeks, it's interesting to see who's putting themselves in a fucking tricky place.
Exactly.
And who's flying high.
So who's looking like they are truly bad, and who's in a false position, do you think? So in the AFC, the 0-2, we have the Texans. We've mentioned them before.
They're bad, aren't they? They're bad. But I think they will get better.
The Broncos.
Right. So my favourite subject.
Broncos lost to the Commanders this week.
Who are 2-0, aren't they? Which
is
worrying.
Well, someone did say they might be dark horses this year.
Good defence. Was that you, John?
It was me. Just because they've got a good defence. I don't think they're
they've got a very expensive defence. They've spent a lot of fucking picks on that defence as well. So.
And if Bieniemy can make that offense tick, then they could bloody some noses.
Definitely.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously people are going to put it down. Russell Wilson. Actually, Russell Wilson for the first half of the game, I thought looked pretty good. Second half, there was just nothing from that team apart from the Hail Mary at the end.
So we had some show reel plays from Russell Wilson this week. Yeah. Not Russell Watson. He was a singer, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah.
Very famous baritone or something. But and yeah, look, he had a good game. And look, I've been a big, I've had a big downer on Russell Wilson, and look, some great throws. I'm still not convinced. One good game is not going to convince me that he's not, on the way spiral downwards. I don't think Peyton is sold on him. Called him out in the press a bit afterwards, saying he's not getting him out of the huddle quick enough. He's having to waste timeouts, which he's never had to do before. So he's already throwing shade at him. I just think that is a ticking time bomb there. I don't think he's Peyton's man, and I think that's going to still not have a happy ending there, is my honest opinion. I don't think the team's good enough either, so I think Sean Payton can't just wave a magic wand. This year will just be about understanding what he needs and then rebuilding in the summer. So I don't think they'll tank or anything like that. I think they'll be competitive. Wilson's not going to be so bad, I don't think he's just suddenly awful. I just don't think he's the Russell Wilson he used to be. So, I think they'll be competitive, but not great for the rest of the season, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. There were times you look at it, but it is massive chunk plays. That is what Wilson is good at. That for the last few years, he's very good going long. But I mean, like Jerry Jeudy was back.
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton, but it's.
Yeah, I just don't think there's enough around him.
There isn't enough.
No.
And they let an 18-point lead slip here to Sam Howell.
Yeah.
So it's...
The defense is nothing special.
No, it isn't. It isn't that. And I thought they'd be better than that. So
I think that's probably a true reflection. The Chargers, honestly, man, can you get any more disappointed with this team? It's just... Honestly, they've got so many expensive pieces,
Yeah.
And it's just on offense and defense, and the offense seems to be clicking, to a reasonable level. Justin Herbert must just get so fucking demoralised, year after year dealing with the same shit. You want me to score 35 points every week to win? Every week.
Yeah. And Brandon Staley's defensive coach.
Well, he's fucking lost his mind. So he was testy in his press conference afterwards. He's on a very hot seat. He's definitely my favourite to be the first one.
Well, we have that at the end of the show. Hottest seat.
Oh, do we? Well, this is all new to me, John. All these things.
So we'll get into that. But yeah, I have to agree. I love watching Herbert. Like the offense, if once again, you have to remember they don't have Eckler, which I think is a massive loss because Josh Kelly couldn't move the ball.
No, Eckler is a special talent, isn't he?
I'm worried about the Chargers. By worried, I mean I'm worried how funny it's going to be when it all goes wrong. Bengals, 0-2. So they were 0-2 last year. Is the comparison that keeps being brought up. They were 0-2 last year, but Burrow was at least coming into fitness. He's injured, but they do have a hell of an offense. Like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins turned up big this week. Like Tyler Boyd as wide receiver 3 is brilliant. Like it's probably one of the best offenses in the league. Mixon actually has been pretty decent.
Been okay.
Like, he's not finished yet. But
I think you've got a couple of bits, haven't you? So you've got Adebayor syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got paid. He was injured pre-season, Burrows. Yeah. And he's been injured again this week. Yeah. I think that it's difficult to do what they did last year every year in a tough division. I think, the Ravens will certainly be better this year than they were last year. So I think they will find it harder to catch up. I think there's still a very distinct possibility you'll get 3 teams out of that division, but I think the Bengals are going to need to turn that around quickly, otherwise they will have too much ground to make up, is my honest opinion. So, because the Ravens, I think, will be much harder to beat this year.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I mean,
even though they've lost Dobbins, I think they'll still be harder to beat. So
they'll just find another running back, somewhere. But Burrow finished with 27-41 for 220. He's only just over 300 yards for the year.
Oh yeah, that's with Chase and Higgins, and it's. But like I say, if the O-line's, how many times did he get hit last year?
Yeah.
Loads, yeah. So if they're not going to give him enough time, it doesn't matter who you are, you won't be able to find people. So
yeah.
I think they've got to sort it out. They've got to move quickly, and they've got to start winning games. I don't know who they've got next, John.
Let's have a look. Rams.
Which
isn't as easy.
It's at Cincy though, isn't it?
It's at Cincinnati.
So I would say that the Bengals are going to be targeting that, saying we need to win this game.
Luckily, it's a long week as well. It's the Monday night game, so it gives Burrow more chance to get fit. But if it's 0-3,
that's tough.
That is tough in this division. That is tough. New England Patriots.
Wow. Yeah.
They look like the exact opposite of what a Bill Belichick team should be. They couldn't defend the run. They weren't particularly good at running the ball themselves. I thought they were half decent against the Eagles in week 1.
Yep.
This week, I
don't think they're doing. And I think in terms of management now, I'm not sure having Bill doing both roles is the right answer now, because the GM should be looking for things that are not just now, they're for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Bill is not in that place. He's not. That vision isn't there now, I don't think, at that age and where he is in his career. I just think that they're not building properly, and I think the other teams in their division are just going past them. So like the Jets, they've got an issue at quarterback now because of an injury. But if it wasn't for that, you'd be going, would you take the Jets roster or the Patriots roster? Jets. Would you take the Dolphins roster or the Patriots roster?
Dolphins.
The Dolphins. Would you take the Bills roster or the Patriots roster?
Bills.
That's just fucking one division.
Yeah.
So I think, I'm not sure it's going to be a sparkler this year.
Nah.
So if it is, it will purely come down to coaching, but they're going to have to get that defense really going.
Yeah, and it is.
The offense isn't going to do enough. They're going to have to be conceding. And it often does take Bill a few weeks to get that defense really purring. So, but they're going to have to hold teams to under 20 points a lot.
Yeah. Oh, really? I have to agree. Mac Jones, because he's not physical, like Lamar, but even Mahomes, these, because he has to be perfect with his throws, and they had, I think their longest play the week was 14 yards. That's insipid. So
insipid, John. I like that.
Thank you
for a Wednesday night.
So should we move on to NFC? So Cardinals are 0-2. We've mentioned them.
They're pony.
They're pony. Panthers.
Rubbish.
Yeah, not a big.
The NFC ones are definitely more clear cut, I think, if I'm honest.
Bears. Pony. They are bad.
Yeah,
really bad.
They are bad. Yeah.
But Vikings. Is that a just So I mean, they've lost 2 games, so it is just. But
yeah, they lost to the Eagles, and who else did they lose to?
The Bucks.
Yeah, so the Bucks is a bad loss. They lost to the Eagles on prime time, Kirk Cousins prime time.
Yeah.
We know there's a problem there. So, yeah, I'd say that the Vikings have still got a very good squad. The challenge there is about making sure they deliver the best they can. I think it has been for the last few years. It's how do you get them in deep into the playoffs, because they should be. So 0-2 is obviously not ideal. So, but I see them coming good.
They'll get better. I would like to see when they dropped Dalvin Cook. A few people said you can play Madison. There's no drop off, and I remember at the time thinking bullshit.
Wow.
And that is proving true, because
do you know what? It's interesting because when he came in to replace him, the numbers look very similar. But then obviously Dalvin Cook's gone to the Jets and done fuck all.
He has done
all, literally fuck all. Just sat on my bench in fantasy because I wouldn't go near him. Breece Hall's making him look like an old man. Breece Hall in the first game had way less touches than Dalvin Cook, but ran for about 120 yards more.
Yeah,
he had like a quarter of the touches of Dalvin Cook, and then just ripped it to pieces. So I think I don't know what's gone on there, but Madison, I think they'll get him into the game. It's like if you're losing games, you don't run the ball. So stats with running backs can be a bit deceiving sometimes. If you're behind in a game, you just have to throw the ball more. So I think give that a little bit of time, and then we can look at that properly in a couple of weeks. So I wouldn't have any major worries about the Vikings yet.
No, it's still early, but they need to get some wins in.
And then really the NFC, when you look at it, we might as well do the top of it at the start now. So I think the NFC is kind of like we've said, really. There's not really loads of difference in the middle teams. There's 2 or 3 we think will be up the top.
Yeah.
So the Eagles and the Niners, they're 2-0 just
Cowboys.
as we expected. The Cowboys have got off to a really good start. So we'll wait and see how that progresses. Defense again looks really good at the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So
Offense isn't looking
as sparkly, but it's a game of 2 halves.
It is a game of 2 halves, and I mean as well. If you're going to play Pap, it doesn't matter. But that's all they've played so far. We need to see them play somebody good. Unfortunately, this week they play the Cardinals. So, we don't really know how the Cowboys sit yet, because they haven't played anyone good.
Saints. Saints and Bucks both 2-0, which I think that most people had the Saints down to win that division now with Derek Carr. But do you know what? Like Baker, is he that much of a difference to Jameis? Not really. And they actually did okay with Jameis for quite a few years. You've got Mike Evans, you've got Chris Godwin. Like, these guys are elite wide receivers. Both of them are elite wide receivers. I don't care what anyone tells me. They're very good, both of them. And Baker, he isn't awful. He's not he's not amazing. I wouldn't be like, oh wow, we've got Baker, but he's not completely fucking useless.
He's got a chip on his shoulder, which is at the moment, and that I think he needs that sort of fuck you attitude.
I reckon there's 10 quarterbacks worse than
starting
Baker.
quarterbacks. Oh god, yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah, easily.
So that with then 2 elite wide receivers, that gives them a chance, doesn't it? The Bucks.
And I mean, I'm like yourself. My Evans and Godwin are elite. Evans never really connected with Brady.
No.
Like, even in the Super Bowl year, never really clicked. And Evans this season has started like a house on fire. He looks fit. He looks lean. He looks the fucking business. I'm regretting not taking him in fantasy, because he is brilliant. He dropped in our leagues as well for some reason.
Yeah, all because of Baker. It's all because of Baker. Yeah.
And it might be like, remember the Fitzmagic year when they brought in Fitzmagic, Jameis and stuff, where they win 3 but then lose 3.
It'll be exactly like that.
It might be exactly like that.
But the division's not great. So I think that'll be close between those two. So that'll be interesting. I think when they face off, and then the Falcons are 2-0 as well.
Yeah.
And Ridder looks half decent. And Kyle Pitts all of a sudden he looks a better player. Like
Bijan Robinson looks a fucking star.
Changes everything. You've got a good run game. Everything becomes available. Play action becomes available. People they can't double team Kyle Pitts all the time because it's the only thing they've got. So. I think there's, the Falcons have got much better quicker than I thought they could. Yeah. So we'll wait and see. I'm actually really looking forward to the Falcons Jags game now.
Exactly.
When I saw it on the thing, I was like, boys, do we want these fucking tickets? Like, are we sure? Like, I know we want to keep the season ticket, but do we actually want to go to that fucking shit show?
Yeah.
And actually, it might be all right. Yeah. I'm quite looking forward to it now.
It's only 2 weeks away as well.
I know, yeah.
Fucking hell.
I know. I was thinking that when you saw it out.
Also at 2-0, the Commanders.
I know.
Sam Howell, they've ridden with Sam Howell. He looked great against the Broncos. Bieniemy, it seems to be getting that offense to work better. They're not perfect, but they're better. And that defensive front is great, really great. Did you see when Montez Sweat forced a 3-and-out on his own?
Yeah.
A sack, tackle for a loss, and he batted down a pass in 3 plays. You're like, that guy is elite. Yeah. They are fun.
They've got a great defense, yeah. And they've got some good people on offense. I like Robinson. I like Terry McLaurin. I think they've got a good. Yeah. They've got some Dotson. Like, they're not awful at all, And if the culture's changing and stuff like that, I think the thing is when you look at the Saints, the Commanders, teams like that, they're in close games, and they've been the better team and got over the line. Whereas you look at that versus, say, the Cowboys, the Niners, the Eagles, you can tell from their point differential they're beating teams up, the Niners had a tight game against the Rams, tight divisional game, but they still looked like they were going to win it the whole time. Yeah. So, and I think the Cowboys have conceded 10 points.
Yeah.
In 2 games, I'm just, that's how good their defense is right now. 10 points, that is winning people fantasy leagues on their own if they've got defenses in their leagues.
35 points there, didn't it?
Yeah, and even like last week, it was like 18 points or something. It's crazy. So, that has been ridiculous. So, I think, and they scored 70 points, the Cowboys. Yeah. So, the Cowboys have scored the most points and conceded the least. So anyone who wants to have a Mike McCarthy, maybe this week's not the best idea. No. I think he spent a lot of time in his garage this summer.
Well, that's it. Yeah, and over in the AFC, the 2-0 teams are the Ravens, who we've talked about, and the Dolphins. I've always thought the Dolphins would be the standout in the AFC East. They are. I did notice what is surely the harbinger for doom. Tua is now favourite in MVP betting.
Oh wow!
So
he'll be knocked out for 8 weeks then soon.
Yeah, that's going to bring nothing but pain.
But no, so it's been an interesting start to the season. Definitely,
it is. And there's only a few of the offenses are really ticking. It's been really slow.
Yeah.
Even the Eagles, they don't look brilliant, but they are better than what they're playing against. But yeah, the Rams, they're looking good. 49ers are
Don't say it.
But they are brilliant. I'm not going to say anything more than that because I know it makes you uncomfortable. But they have started the season on fire. Dolphins are once again really good. Let's see how it develops. We need to get the season going.
Right then, John, give me these new categories you fuckers have come up with that I know nothing about.
So, biggest balls. Ballsiest player of the week. I've gone with Arthur Smith for his 4th down conversion with 2 minutes to go that got them that started their drive for the winning points to beat the Packers.
As I didn't know about this category, I've also gone with Arthur Smith. So you might be able to find a pattern here, John.
Yeah. Sweetest play. I've got a couple. Chris Olave's one-handed catch against the Panthers the other night, I thought was pretty sweet. But my favourite one was the Terry McLaurin touchdown. Howell just threw it through about 3 players. McLaurin caught it right at the end. It was lovely. But then I also loved the Debo touchdown where
that was a good touchdown.
Where he, in 10 yards he beat about 4 players.
CMC scored a great touchdown as well. See, I was gonna put out there one of the Russell Wilson bombs as well.
Yeah.
Just so that people can't accuse me of hating on Russell Wilson all the time. So there's only 2 of us, John. So
McLaurin.
Let's go with Terry
McLaurin because, but it has
you've done more prep than me.
It has been, but also, it has been noted of your Russell Wilson.
Yeah, all hate.
It's not all hate. Hottest seat.
Oh, we know who this is. This is Staley. Yeah, he might as well. Oh, well, he's fucked. Yeah.
Yeah. It was won last week by Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator for the Steelers.
Yeah.
They still don't look good. They are being rescued by the defence.
Is that on the OC or is it on the talent? I think it's a bit harsh, that is.
Well,
fucking Kenny Pickett.
There's just nothing, though. It is nothing.
Well, and the GM fucking put the squad together.
Yeah.
What's he supposed to do with that shower of shit?
But
you got Deontay Johnson. That's about it.
Well, he's on IR.
Oh, that's what I mean. So there was that, and then
George Pickens.
Pickens to Pickett's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then who's the running back who doesn't turn up anymore?
Najee Harris.
Yeah, brilliant.
And
what's the OC supposed to do with that?
Well, basically, the plays last week, we were laughing because all they seemed to do was target the middle linebacker for the 49ers in week 1. And you're like...
Fred Warner.
You're like, he's the fucking best player in the squad. He's amazing. Like,
best middle linebacker in the league.
Why are you testing him? Like,
idiots.
Like, there's, the defense is good everywhere, but Fred Warner is a fucking stud. And you're going, now let's test him. Nah, bullshit. Basically he was, the offense was booed by their own players. Doesn't matter though,
no,
because it's Brandon Staley.
Yeah,
it's
he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
because he's got the pieces. That's the difference. He has got all the pieces. He should be doing way better.
Oh god, yeah. Special mention about Matt Eberflus, the Bears, because they are shit. At least the Cardinals are trying.
Yeah, and even the quarterback was coming out this week from the Bears.
Fields.
Justin Fields. That's it. He was out this week saying that I look static because they're just giving me shit plays. So it's all kicking off. That's
he's blaming the coaching.
Yeah, that's going to start to fall apart.
Yeah,
because Fields is who they're invested in, not the coach.
Oh yeah, no.
Quarterback over coach there every time.
Oh god, yeah. But he'll have had 3 years into this.
Yeah,
and
he won't last the season.
No, but the point is for Fields, like, how does he earn that that big contract? Because he's looked good, but he's not looked great. You're not going to be.
I think they probably would go with it though if they get the right coach.
Well, that's it. There's a lot riding on what happens at the Bears, and it's a shame because Brian, who we did our auction draft with, obviously Bears fan, knowledgeable guy, but you're like, I'm trying to think of something better than the Bears suck, but.
Is there anything good there?
No.
Deadly silence.
No, but there isn't, is there?
Yeah.
DJ Moore. I do like DJ Moore.
Yeah, there was some nice plays to DJ Moore this week. And the more they get him involved, the better Fields will look as well.
Exactly. So. Claypool had hands this week.
Yeah.
Rather than lumps of clay. Caught a nice touchdown. Actually, they were in the game when Field threw a pass to Shaq Barrett on the 4-yard line, who was just dragged into the end zone by a load of Bucks players. So I think you were 3 points in it at that point.
Yeah.
And it was just a bad miss. But yeah, don't throw to the Bucks defense. Like, it's still pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Week ahead. So week 3 fixtures. So, starting off on Thursday night.
Yes, John.
Giants at 49ers.
At the Niners.
No Barkley.
This is the sort of game we fucking lose, though. It'll be a fucking 12-6 or some shit like that.
Not this week. I think he may embarrass us. We are still yet to have. I don't think we're still yet to have a sack or a turnover. And like the one thing that should be good about us is our defense.
Yeah.
On the positive side, in the second half, once changes were made, Jaden Hyatt for the Giants looked like he could be a difference maker for Jones. Like he enabled him to throw long.
Jets Patriots is a really big game, I'd say, this weekend. So obviously, Zach Wilson has struggled.
Yeah.
Was it 3 takeaways this week?
Yes.
So 3 takeaways, and but the Patriots, if they go 0-3 at the Jets, there's still a lot of talent on that Jets team. If they do enough to beat the Patriots and they go 0-3, there's a long way back in that division, I think. So that would be one of the biggest games of the week for me, I'd say.
Well, it's a big game, but they're normally awful to watch. Pets.
Yeah, may well be. Yeah, may well be.
Like a 7-6 game. But yeah, that might be.
That'll be one of the games of the week.
Intriguing.
Yeah. Commanders Bills could be a good game as well.
Yes, very much so. Chargers Vikings. Someone's gonna get their first win.
Yeah, and someone's gonna be 0-3.
Yeah. If this goes to form, they both lose.
Yeah, well,
how can you?
It's at the Vikings. My money would be on the Vikings.
My money's on the Vikings. My money. It's the Sky.
Oh, that's the Sky Sports game. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually worth watch. Really worth watching. Might not be a red zone.
God, they put Bears Chiefs on at 9:25. What a fucking waste of time. At the Chiefs. Bears at the Chiefs. I'd have probably shown the Panthers Seahawks game.
Yeah, same as. No, thank you. I guess there are a lot of Bears fans, and because of their success, Chiefs fans. But it's not a game I'd want to watch. The primetime games: Steelers at Raiders. Once again, not a particular game I particularly want to watch. Eagles at Bucks, 2-0 teams.
Yeah, that'd be a good game.
That actually, yeah. And then Rams at Bengals is two Monday night games. I'm not going to lie, guys. I don't like 2 Monday night games.
No.
Fuck that. But I'm really enjoying the Rams so far this season. I think Stafford looks good. The defense.
You'll get there, but they've lost a couple of pieces, haven't they? So.
Yeah, but like Puka Nacua, 25.
You just love the name.
It's great. It's fun to say. But 25 catches in the first 2 games, a rookie record. But Tutu Atwell as well. So once Kupp comes back, if Kupp comes back soon, because with that injury, I'm not sure how quickly he comes back. But like when he does, that's a pretty. It could be. It looks like a decent.
I'm worried for Kupp, if I'm honest.
Yeah, same.
So we'll see. But look, the Rams have started off looking better. They had a good game against the Niners. They won that first game, which nobody was sure they were going to. So they're definitely, there's upside to the Rams we didn't think was there. Yeah. So
and the
Bengals have got to win this game.
Yeah.
So my money would be on the Bengals because they have to win.
But I'm going with the Rams.
Wow.
Yeah, I just the Bengals just look completely out of sorts. So we'll come back next week. Hopefully,
I wouldn't say it's as stellar. It's a bit. There's less divisional games this week.
Yeah.
We've started off with 2 weeks of quite heavy divisional games. There's a few less, so there'll be some interesting matchups. I think so. A few that are a bit tougher to call. So
very much so. But we'll be back next week to discuss everything that happens. Hopefully, there'll be more than just us. If not, we'll just.
I know I might not be here next week, so it's like a Snap UK merry-go-round.
It is.
One day we'll all get here at the same time and have pizza probably.
That'd be nice. But yeah, we'll be here next Wednesday, guys. Next Wednesday, be here. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Good night.